Hey, welcome back, guys. Today I have my lab results, my blood work that was recently done. Um, I'm this blood work is from about 2 weeks before 1 year on the carnivore diet, so just 2 weeks short of a year here. So it's a good indicator of where I'm at a year. Um, this blood work was something that my insurance company does that is free once a year to get done. So there's, specific to what they wanted. Um, that was part of this free package thing that I could do. So there's an A1C in it and there's some other good info. So let me go right into the info and take a look at where I'm at. All right. So I had blood work done back in April of this year. So that was just about 2 months ago. I guess it was early April, I think. So it was a little over 2 months ago. Not all the same things were done in that blood work. That was blood work that was ordered from my doctor that I get done twice a year, every 6 months. And so there's some things that he orders that are different than what is in this blood work. But overall, there's a lot of similar things, so we can kind of see the differences there, if there are any, and then also look back to before I started the carnivore diet last year. So, first of all, let me start with A1C. Last summer in July, it was my A1C was 4.7. I actually messed up in my blood work video that I did about 2 months ago and reported it at 4.6 by mistake. It was 4.7, and I don't know how I made that mistake, but so July of 2022, it was 4.7. That was basically right as I had just started carnivore. But I had been doing keto for a few months, about 2, 3 months or so. Before that, started like in mid-April, I guess it was. So yeah, it was about 2 to 3 months there. So it was 4.7. So this year here in June of 2023, it is still 4.7. So that number hasn't changed any. 4.7 is a really, really good number. So I'm very happy with that number. All right. Um, Glucose. Now, this is a number that I don't look at as much because A1C is, basically your 3 month average, where glucose is what it is at that particular fasting time. Um, Back in July of 2022, it was 93. In April of 2023, just this couple months ago, was 97. And just now, it was 92 here in June of 2023. So that's where my glucose numbers are. Sodium, those numbers are well. It's 142 in April and it's 140 here in June. So a little bit on somewhat of the higher end of their range that they give you, but it's still within well numbers, right? Potassium, I had a 4.1 in April. It's a 4.1 now. That seems kind of weird that it's exactly the same, but that's where it is. It's right good in a good spot. PSA, prostate specific antigen. This is the levels of protein in your prostate, and this was a 0.49 just now. The last time, I believe, if I looked at that right, it was also 0.49. So again, that's weird that they're kind of the same numbers, but that number is from um, April, and then here in June is 0.49. So those are really good numbers. Anything under 4.00 is considered in the reference range, the normal reference range, but you want that to be pretty low. So 0.49 is a good number there. protein was a 7.2, and I don't, for some reason, I did not have that one taken in April. I don't believe so. I'm not sure why there, but so it was 7.2 just now. And vitamin D actually wasn't in this one. It was in April. It was a 40.1, which is a little bit on the lower side, but I used to be going back before it was a 38. That was in April of 2022. So it's actually come up. And since April, it's probably come up a little more because I've been out in the sun a little more as it's been warmer and the sun's been out more, getting away from the wintertime and all that stuff. And I'll have that one done here again in about 3 to 4 months. So I'll see what that number is then. Okay, so let's go into some of the lipid panel numbers and triglycerides. Back in April of 2022, right before I started doing any kind of keto or carnivore, it was 273, which is really, really high. Just to show how it's gone down, in October of 2022, it was 179. Then in April of 2023, it was 118. So that was just a couple months ago, went down to 118. And now here in June, it was 120. I will preface this that I think that my triglycerides are higher because of a medication I am taking. I had been diagnosed with AFib back about, I guess it was like 6 years ago or so, 6, 7 years ago, whenever it was. And I was put on metoprolol, which is a beta blocker to lower my heart rate. And that medicine is known to increase your triglycerides. That's one of the side effects. So the fact that it's been 118 in April and 120 here in June is pretty good, I think, because it probably, without taking that medication, would be under 100. So I think that the numbers are better than what they look like just because of that medication is kind of increasing my triglycerides. I do go back to my cardiologist in a couple months, and we had kind of talked a little bit before about this, and I could very well be getting taken off both the beta blocker and a blood thinner that I am on, that I've been on for about 6 to 7 years here. Just because since going to Carnivore last year, I have not had any more episodes. I'm losing weight. So I am, I'm not as high risk as I was before, less risk there. So there's the possibility of coming off of that medication. We've talked about that before. So probably a good chance that could be happening, and that should help my triglyceride numbers as well. All right, HDL, going back to before I started keto carnivore or any of that, April of 2022, it was 38. October of 2022, it was still 38, which was kind of interesting to me. But I had, even though I had been carnivore for a few months, I still was cheating a decent amount here and there, I guess, where I would eat something that I shouldn't. And then in April of this year, it really spiked up some to 45. Still, I'd like to see that higher, but it went up. And then here in June, it was 44. So not quite as high, but that number is so close. It's hard to say exactly why. There could be differences in how long I fasted or other things, for instance, that can affect your, your cholesterol numbers. Like, believe it or not, if you have sexual intercourse within 24 hours of having your blood drawn, your cholesterol numbers would be a little higher. So, and I believe your HDL might go up as well. I can't remember with that one number if it goes up or down, but so those are some things that are interesting. At one time I might have fasted for 12 hours, and the other time it might have been more like a 14 to 16 hour fast, and that could slightly change things as well with your cholesterol numbers. So when they're that close, keep that in mind. It's hard to say exactly. There could be, a couple points difference, really. Okay. LDL, this is an interesting one. April of 2022, before starting keto carnivore, it was 82. In October of 2022, it was 84. It hadn't gone up that much. Then in April of 2023, it went up a little bit to 104. That's still a really good LDL number. And I know I didn't have ApoB tests done. And there's a difference between your um, your small particle and your large particle. The fluffier ones are the ones that are usually what you see when you're on carnivore, and those are a better, you know, LDL. Um, but nonetheless, still 104 is not a bad number at all. And then in June here of 2023, the number dropped again back down to 85. Again, I talked a little bit about how numbers can change a little bit with your cholesterol depending on what happened in the last 24 hours before going in to the blood test, how long you fasted, that kind of thing. So there could be some weird things there. I don't know, but the number did drop down to 85, which is real similar to what it was in October, to be honest. But and keep in mind here, for the last month here before this blood work, there's been absolutely no cheating, no carbs at all. So it really has been just, um, you know, the meat, the muscle meat, and the animal fat that I'm eating. All right, so that takes us to total cholesterol. In April of 2022, that was 158, and that was before starting keto carnivore. In October 2022, it actually went down a little bit to 153. April of 2023, so just a couple months ago, it went up to 170. So still within normal ranges, and that's because the triglyceride numbers went way down, the HDL moved up, so um, the number is not that bad at all for a total cholesterol number. And obviously I'm not one of those hypo responders with my LDL and total cholesterol going sky high as some people are. That doesn't seem to be the case with me. And then here in June, the number actually went down again to 143, which is the lowest it's been. So again, I talked a little bit about changes and what happened in the last 24 hours before your test. It could be something to do with that. I don't know, but the total cholesterol number is down a bit, probably because the LDL number is down. Triglycerides are still pretty low. The HDL is up there a little bit more. So that's probably why that total cholesterol number is down even more than what it had been, but that's where it's at. All right, so TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. This was a 0.97, which is basically right in the middle of the range. So that looks pretty good. I had it done last year in July of 2022, and it was a 0.77, which actually was a little bit low. It was still good, but in the lower end. So now it's like right in the middle. So it'd be interesting to see the next time I get that done, if it's changed at all, or if it's still around 0.97. All right, so those are pretty much the numbers. I do have more blood work that'll be done in about 3 to 4 months through my regular doctor. That won't have the A1C, but the A1C has been pretty good. It's been 4.7 the last 2 years, so I'm not concerned really there. I'll continue to get that done once a year and see how that's going. And, at this point, I'm not concerned about any of my numbers to where I need to do anything further. If I wanted to, if my cholesterol numbers or LDL particularly was up really high and my doctor complained about it, I would say, well, let's do an ApoB test so we can really see what is what in there. But I'm not concerned about it, so I'm not going to worry about it. And I'd like to have a CAC test done at some point. That's the calcium artery. I can't remember what the second C stands for, but that's where basically you can check for any plaque buildup in your arteries, which is a really good test, really, to check for heart disease, right? And that my doctor has not been willing to order that test. So I can't get it covered by insurance at this point. I'd be paying for it out of pocket. And so I'd like to do that at some point, but right now I just haven't gone that route. It would be really interesting to see where that is at after a year here on carnivore diet, but I haven't done that one. So, I'll continue with the numbers that I have right now. Um, they're all really good. There's no concerns that I have in those. So go ahead and drop any comments that you have in the comment section. Anything about my numbers or numbers that you have of your own that you'd like to share, experiences with being on the carnivore diet. How long you've been on the carnivore diet, a year, maybe some people out there's been out there 5 years or more on the diet, and they have other experiences or something that you've noticed as you've been on the diet for a longer period of time. Maybe there's something that you think I should be aware of and have checked in the future here, because now I'm at a year and I'm, getting to the point that I've more established on the diet. So let me know about that. Go ahead and like this video, share it on social media and so forth to help get it pushed out on the YouTube algorithm. And that'll get more people to view it and more awareness out there about the carnivore diet and, the benefits you can see with your blood work and how you're really feeling and that kind of stuff. And then if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I do put out new videos every day at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. And sometimes there's other videos as well. I have some videos where I've done some interviews with other people that are doing the carnivore diet. And there's always some good videos there to see experiences from other people as well as my experiences. And I have more of those interviews coming up and more of those videos that'll be coming out. And I do a lot of videos on my own experiences. And I think that really could help people that are doing a carnivore diet, especially if you're new in the carnivore diet space. You maybe you just more recently in the last few months started carnivore, or you're thinking about doing carnivore and you haven't done it yet. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel and check out those videos. And remember, I got new videos coming out every day.